Hello everybody, this is Cheryl, and I had a very busy morning. Yesterday I was out of town for an eye appointment, and today I decided to take some time this morning for just kind of, I took a walk at 5:30, and then I enjoyed some time on my back lanai watching the sunrise and writing in my journal. And then I was going to film a video, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to play for a little while. And so somebody had sent me a puzzle. I don't know if you follow Rach and Bella at Rach and Bella Crafts, but somebody had sent me a puzzle. It's like a heavy chipboard. It's not really wood, but it was a dozen pieces, and I had no idea. There was no picture, there was nothing. And so I started, looking at it, and I put some pictures on the website, and people were helping me decide, what it was. And anyway, it got built, and it was brown. And so I painted it with some chalk paint, and it had a little drawer in it. And I had this vintage quilt. I still have it, but it's tattered. It's worn, and I don't know if you can see, but so what I did was I chalk painted it white, and then I put this piece of a doily on the front. But I think I'm going to tea stain that, with a brush maybe, because you can't really see it. And I think it would look good tea stained, but you can let me know in the comments what you think. And so I put, some of those fabrics in there. Some of you might already know that I was a quilter. I do quilts. And, but I don't do much with quilting anymore, because it's just paper is my love. And, so anyway, I do have a sewing room, and, I have a sewing machine in here as well in my craft space. But anyway, so I just put a few pieces in there just, for fun. And then I put my little scissors in here. These were my mother-in-law's, and she just turned 103 years old in heaven on November 2nd. So they're very old, and I love them, and I still use them today. And what else did I do? And so that's the little drawer. And then I made this little slip cover, and I made this little pincushion pillow, and I made this little little quilt, I don't know why. I just did. It was there. It was a piece left over, and I just didn't know what to do with it. And then I have been purchasing from Ukraine Etsy sellers, and I found these through Christina. I can't remember her channel right now. My memory isn't real good, but so Christina had showed me some tags she was making, and she was challenged to purchase from an Etsy seller, from somebody that she knows. And so I decided that I was going to take the challenge as well, and I found these sweet thread holders or lace holders, really, whatever you wanted them to be. And I love, these kinds of things to put my threads on. It makes me happy when I do my slow stitching. So I bought those, and I bought some tags. Not tags. Yeah, I think I bought some tags. I don't remember. I haven't printed them yet. But they were only $1, and they're so sweet. And I love Beatrix Potter, anything. It's just, my joy. I've read all of her books, and my first journal was a Peter Rabbit journal 4 years ago. So I put some vintage buttons that I had. I just, sewed them, put some thread through them, and put them there for kind of decoration. And then I had this little piece of doily left from there, and I didn't want to put it in my jar, so I just put that there. So instead of doing a video this morning, because I was still nervous because my last video was so horrible, and And so, yeah, I played, and this is my little chair, which I will keep on my desk actually, because I find that oftentimes I need some thread or some pins, you know, for what I'm making, and I'll have to go over to my sewing area, which is in back of me, you know, slide my chair over, get some thread, whatever. So I'll likely, I made this a while ago. It's just a little pin cushion that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I put it on top of this container and put some threads and needles and stuff in it. You know, but anyway, anyway, it's just something pretty to keep on my desk and to use. But let's get to today's video. I also made a fairy, Enchanted Fairy postcard. I've been following Tanya at Tatty Treasures, and this month is Enchanted Postcards. So this was one for last week, and then I made this one for this week, and then realized, oh my goodness, they're like matching. But this was with a napkin, decoupaged, and then I kind of collaged some napkin in there. And this is like a 3D. I just cut out a rose, and I put some glossy accents on that. And then some stickles, some silver stickles, and then some, this is like a mother of pearl. I don't know if you can see it in the light. And then, you know, up there on the butterfly, that was actually on the napkin. And then I did some of the buds. I love glossy accents. I think it really accentuates, you know, different parts of your project. And Rose, she actually has really been a gift in the How To Botanical, because she did some glossy accents on some Edith Holden pages. And I always, you know, I never want to cover those, but I want to use them. And now I know that I can do that. So today, believe it or not, this is just a file folder. And because I didn't have any manila paper. And then this is, I needed to collage something for my journal, my botanical journal that I'm working on, because I had made this and I wanted it to look like something that you would find in a garden shed. So after I made this, this keeps all my fussy cuts and ephemera that I made, that I cut out of the kit. This is Rachel Bella's botanical kit. And you can find it on Etsy. But anyway, this is what I'm working on now. And so I made this, I think in a video last week, just to show you, and it was white. And it was annoying me. So I covered it with some, I couldn't find napkin that I wanted to use with it. So I made my own and I decoupaged it. And I thought, maybe somebody else would like to know how to do that. So this is my napkin that I made and decoupaged it onto a manila folder. Because I didn't have any manila paper and it didn't look good on white. So I will show you now how to do that. I won't keep you all day. I hope you're all having a great day. Congratulations to all of the winners. I hope that you understood my last two horrible videos. I'm still using my phone because I'm still having trouble with my camera. But we're going to get that straightened out. I have lots of people who have jumped in and said that they are going to help me. So let me just put this over here and I will get to our project today. Just let me make sure we're in frame. You know what? I'm going to get this just in case, because I'm right in front of a window in my craft room. I'm really blessed. I mean, it's a small craft room. It's only 12 by 10. But it's right off the kitchen, and I have French doors so I can close them but still not feel so secluded when my husband is home. But you know, it's there. So let's see. I think that's better, don't you? Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab a piece of a piece of, you know, parchment paper, just because, just the glue, you know. And I'm going to get some tissue paper, which is very thin, as you can see. It's the kind that you would, it's not tracing paper. This is tracing paper, although you could probably do it with tracing paper. But today, we're going to use tissue paper. And I've told you before how to use the tracing paper, and it's the same concept. It's exactly the same, only where you glue it makes a difference. So on this tissue paper, I got it at the Dollar Tree, and it comes in a big, like, folded package, and I like to cut my pieces down. So what I'll do is I'll spend like a half hour, and I'll cut them down just so that they're, you know, bigger than the 8.5 by 11, because sometimes, you know, I'll need it bigger depending on what I'm using it for. And I'll cut out several sheets so that I have it on hand, because, you know, like I said, I don't sometimes have the right napkin to make what I want. And like I said, I really wanted this to look like something that came out of a garden shed. So this has been painted and gessoed and stamped and inked, you know, a lot. Whereas this one, I just simply put it on the manila folder, which is perfect, you know. It still looks like, you know, I mean, you could still age it up with some, the Tim Holtz ink, and make it look like it came out of a garden shed, if that's the look that you're looking for. And that was the look. I was looking for that real patina, you know, old, you know, something that you would find in a garden shed. And I collaged the back because when I had already made this, so it was very difficult to, you know, put all the parts together without anything, you know, so that everything was right. And right here is where I put some packaging, and I put a piece of oh my goodness, I always lose my words when I tape. Yeah, you know what tape this is. I'm so sorry. The tape that you just peel off, and I just folded it here at the end. So all you do is peel it off, and then I can get in there and get my words and what have you. And this is just packaging, and I glued it down with my I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm losing my words today. I think I'm really nervous because my last video was just so horrible. And I'm really trying hard to put out some good content. So anyway, I did glue the packaging down, but just to make it pretty, I put some of the washi tape here. And then some washi tape just to match, and, you know, just to give it some strength here. And then I inked, you know, on the inside so that when you opened it, it looked like it had been in the shed for a while. And so that's what I did to that. And you could go back a video to see how I made that, but we're going to make it real quick. So let's just get back to this. And you want to, if you have this kind of tissue paper, on one side, it's a little bit, just a smidge kind of waxy, almost shiny. This side is more, you know, flat, okay? So all you're going to do is you want to take your glue stick, and, you know, the school glue is the best because it doesn't stick real well for a long time. And you want to go right along that top edge. Not on the paper really, but you're kind of just going along the edge. See how I'm doing just the edge? I'm getting more glue on the parchment paper than I am on the paper itself, because I want it to just stick there. on it on the paper because I want to be able to peel it off. So, and I don't want it to rip. So what I'm going to do is just place this down along this edge so I don't have so much to cut. And you can cut this prior to, which is what I usually do, but I didn't. So let me just pick this up. And this is just copy paper. I forget what the weight is. I don't remember what the weight is, but I don't think it matters. It's not real thin. It's what I use. It's photo paper. But it's not cardstock. But you can use cardstock by all means. And then you're just going to cut it so that it fits your 8.5 by 11 so it doesn't get jammed in your printer. And I have done this with my photo inkjet printer for years and never, ever, ever had a jam. As long as you cut it right along that edge of your 8.5 by 11 paper. And again, just get the glue on the very edge. Get most of your glue on your parchment paper. And that's what I like about the purple glue, because you can see where you're putting it. And it goes away, so. Anyway. And you can do this with anything you want to print. You don't, you know, it's not necessarily has to be this particular kit. It's just the kit I happen to be working on, so. And I wanted to show you how to make something to keep all your fussy cuts in, because a lot of people are using this kit right now. So, although I just saw this morning she's coming out with a beautiful kit. If you go over to Bella's channel, she is in the process of making some beautiful prayer cards right now. That's Bella from Rach and Bella Crafts. And if you go to their Facebook group, you'll see some pictures of the beautiful cards she's made. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to be putting this on hold for a little bit while I follow along with her. So now what you're going to do is take your tissue paper. Now my printer prints, like I said before, this way. So I'm going to put this down because that's what I want to print on. I want to print on the tissue paper. So I'm going to stick this right in my printer real quick. And I'm going to select my file on my computer to print, which is going to be the same one. And I am going to print that onto the tissue paper. And then, while we wait for that, I'm going to get the other piece of file folder I have here. Is this it? I think so. Well, it's not the same one, but it's close enough. I have several of these because my husband used to, his office was at home for quite a while, so he had many old file folders. So I've been blessed with many old file folders. So you just want to cut this down if you're using a file folder to 8.5 by 11. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut this edge off because I just, you know, I want it to be just a piece of 8.5 by 11. So let's see. Let's see. This is 8.5. Right there. Actually, I like this piece better. Make sure I have 8.5 here. I'm just going to go a little bit more than the 8.5. Oops, let me just turn off my computer because it's making noises. I don't know why. All right, so 8.5. And as you can see, maybe, I have some tape right here on my cutter at 8.5 and here at 11. And it's really great because I can't see these numbers in this Caterpillar crop, which another reason why I don't really particularly like it. because my eyesight's not that good. But just in case, I mean, if any of you can't see your 8.5 and your 11 point, which is primarily what we use all the time, or at least I do, it's kind of a neat little trick. So let me just make sure that this is 11. And there we go. And I can put this away. I hope you're all having a great day. I did. I still have one more plant to transplant. It's called a lantana. It's beautiful. It's confetti. And it's called confetti because it has, it's all different colors. So someday I'll have to video my garden because I am a very avid gardener. I just love to be outdoors, and I live in Florida, and I'm really blessed because I get to garden year round. So here we go. It's all finished. I will take it out, and here is our piece of tissue paper. And then what you want to do is just very carefully take it. I printed this full. Well, oftentimes if you don't print it full, you've got a border, so you can cut that border off. But I printed a full page so that if I lost any of it, it would be okay. What you have to do is carefully, you could use your, I might have pressed that down too hard. Never happened. It figures. Let's try this side. Let me just get my little blade here and go along. So this is another way you can get it off, because like I said, you just did that bottom part, that edge. I might have gone too much. I might have put too much there. Let's try this side. Oh dear. It figures. The other one came right off with no problem. So just try and get in here. There's a little space, I can see it. There it is. Here we go. You know, whatever kind of blade you have, and just kind of peel that corner off. If you don't need the whole thing. If you do, then just save that, because you're just going to decoupage it down, and you could always take that piece and put it in when you're done. But cut mine down. So, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. All right, I'm just going to be calm and get this off, because it does come off. Coming off right now, but it should. Problem, and I don't know why it's not. I am not happy. I think I put too much glue on that edge. I don't know what's happening. Much on that top edge. That's why you only want to put it right on the edge. In a way, I'm kind of glad that this happened, so that you know you don't want to get it on this. You just want to get it on the very edge, so it will come off. See how it's sticking, because I got too much glue on that. But it's okay. I'm still going to use it. There are no failures in junk journaling. It can always be fixed. See how nice that's coming off? Because I only glued the very edge. I only glued that top edge. So just take your time. I'm a little bit nervous today. So I think I just hurried it a little bit too much. But anyway, there's your napkin, and you don't even have to peel it apart because you don't have any layers. And then I prefer to collage on the, like, if you put it on the white, it's fine. But it just, to me, it looks better on a manila. Bigger, because like I said, I printed it bigger. So all I'm going to do now is collage it like I would collage anything else. And that is, I take my glue stick somewhere. I just had it. Here it is. Here is our first one. The 50 cents is here. The 50 cents is here. See? And you can actually see my hand through it. So let me just put this over here so I can glue this down. Use PVA and water. I just find, for me, when I use decoupage and napkin, I prefer this because it lays down and I don't have so many wrinkles, and I typically don't get any bubbles. So, and I should be using my parchment paper because I don't want to get any glue on my mat. So I'm really happy to be videoing again, and I really prayed about it before I started because I just didn't want to make such a disaster again. So if it doesn't come out good, well, I just won't upload it. Yes, I will, because I upload all my videos, because you know what? That's what this is all about. Nothing's perfect. I'm a perfectionist. I tried not to be. I tried recovering from it for a long time. Well, this is how God made me, so. But in junk journaling, I've found that it doesn't have to be perfect. That's correct. Because it can always be fixed. So I'm just going to lift this up so that I don't get any, I'm actually going to turn it over because I don't want to get any glue anywhere but here on my paper. And I'm just going to lay it down where I want it. About there. And I'm not worried about that torn spot because I'm decoupaging. It glues right down. I didn't put it exactly where it should be. It's still too far over here, so I have this little space over here, but I'll show you how to fix that. So what you want to do is just lightly take your finger, make sure that you're all pressed down. Now you might have some wrinkles, but that's okay, because if you have, I like to use my brayer, which is right. It's usually kept in my box where my brayer is supposed to be. But I used it this morning and it's not in here. So I'll use something else. Because not all of you have a brayer. So I'll just use my finger to press out my little wrinkles here. It's not going to take very long. Just press them down. The main thing you want to make sure is that you don't have any bubbles, because if you have bubbles, then that means that it's not fully glued down, and so it will, you know, lift in that area. So wrinkles are okay because they're going to go away. But, and even if they don't, it adds to the look, especially with this particular look that I'm going for, which is kind of, like I said, that old, you know, garden shed look. So I'm just very lightly, I'm not, you know, going crazy with it, pressing down my wrinkles. My brayer works really well, but I'm not going to take the time to, it's probably right in front of me. I was watching Bella this morning and she said, oh, Bella, if you're watching, I found my brayer right in front of me. Bella had the same problem. She was looking for something and she said that she found it right in front of her when she turned off her camera. I do it all the time. I don't know why. But anyway, take your brayer if you have one. And this is one, it's called, it's just a brayer I got when I used to do Stampin' Up. But just go on Amazon or your local art store and, you know, look for a brayer. And all it is it's like a rolling pin. I actually have a vintage one. It's wooden, and it's got a handle. It's got a small little rolling pin and a wider rolling pin. I don't use it, but it was my mother-in-law's, and I have it in one of my tins out in my kitchen. So basically that's all it is. It's like, it's a rolling pin. So all my wrinkles are gone, and it is nice and decoupaged onto the paper exactly how I wanted it. And bigger by, you know, bigger than the 8.5 by 11 because I did the full, you know, the full sheet. So then all you have to do is take your scissors and you're going to trim that edge. I'm trying to stay only on the tracing paper, but for some reason I am not doing a very good job. But anyway, there's one. Don't throw it away yet because you might have an area where you need to, you know, place it. And it's best if you wait until your glue underneath is dry. Mine's not completely dry, but for video's sake, I'm going ahead and cutting it now. Also, you can for sure go over this with matte medium and then let it dry for about 24 hours. I mean, it dries pretty fast, and if you have a heat gun, it dries within seconds. But I like to air dry just about everything I do. Even my tea staining, when I make homemade paper, when I vegetable dye my paper, I always dry it outside. But I'm fortunate to be able to do that because I live in Florida. So actually keep a spray bottle of tea in my fridge and some avocado in case I run out, or if I just want to do a small card, I'll just take the avocado spray or the tea or the onion skin, you know, spray bottle. I keep it in spray bottles like this in the fridge because you can't keep it out of the fridge because it will go bad. But so see right here, I have some edges here. So I'm just going to take my tissue paper and my glue stick and I'm going to fill it in. I hope I've been in frame and I hope it's not too bright. I'm actually going to close these a little bit just in case. And I'm just going to put my brayer to the side. And I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and here and here and here. And I think that's the only place I missed. So those extra pieces, I am going to fill it in with my little pieces that I cut off. And no one will be the wiser when we're done. Because you're watching. So I'm just going to add a little bit more glue. You don't want to go over it. Don't go over the paper. Just go on to your other paper because it may lift. So I'm just going to put this up. I'm just going to put it up here a little bit. Very edge. And I'm just going to press it down with my fingers. Try and keep on that very, 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 very edge. My little spout here. And I'm going to tear it right there because I don't need to cover up that spout. And with your fingers. I have another spot here, so I'm just going to kind of fit that in there. And you get your own tissue, you get your own napkin to match your project. And I do this all the time. I love using napkins, and sometimes I just don't have the right napkin, so I'll make my own. Kind of go along this edge as well, just to show you that it's very easy to fix. I have enough glue there, but make sure I'm in frame here so you can see me covering up my mistakes. I said, you're not even going to see this. I'm just showing you in case it's in the middle of your project and how you can fix it. Dry for a second while I grab some tea stain paper so we can make another one of our folios, because I need one and some of you may not have seen that video. If you have seen the video on how to make one of these, then by all means you can, just go ahead and skip it. But just in case, I'll do it again. But I'll do it this time with tea stain paper instead of white paper. And let me just push this down a little bit and cut this edge off. And there we go. And I still have a little smidge right there. Am I a perfectionist or what? Oh dear. I am going to get a little piece of my really pretty paper here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue there. Not because we're going to see it when it's done, but it's okay. I want to do it anyway. So I'm just going to put that right there. And I'll let that dry while I grab some tea stain paper so that we can continue. Okay, now like I said, by all means, you can, put the matte medium on this. to cover it, I'm not going to do that because I'll have to wait too long for it to dry. Oops, tap that a little bit too much. A bit of a white spot there. So I just decided to put that there to cover it up. All right, so let me just grab some tea stain paper and we'll move forward real quick. So all you're going to do with your tea stain paper, and we can move everything else out of the way now. I'm trying so hard to not be nervous. I know you can hear it in my voice, but that's okay. That's fine. So I always save this because the glue dries, so I use it several times. So here's some tea stain paper. And again, you can make as many pockets as you want. In your folio. This one, I think I have 1, 2, 3, which seems to be plenty. Plus I have this for my words. So, and then I just made this out of 2 tags. And that's how I go around it. I made it loose because I'm still going to be adding things to it because I haven't finished fussy cutting everything out. I still have these. I have all my fussy cuts over here. I have so many more still to cut. This kit is huge, just so you know. It's gorgeous. I mean, you'll use it all summer long. So, I am going to take my tea stain paper, and I'm going to make, I want to make 3. So there's 1. And here's 2. Well, I really like the look of this one. It definitely has a lot of texture in it. I did this with some vintage doilies, and I love the way it came out. So we'll fold that up. It's got some really, you know what? I think I'm going to save that for a tag. It's too nice to put inside something we're not going to see, right? So we'll take our next tea stain paper, the top, and fold it. There's 2, and we'll do 1 more. And here's 3. Garden shed when we lived in Massachusetts because we had the space for it, but we don't have one here. And my husband said even if we did have the space for it, it likely would not be a garden shed, but a she shed. Which I watched a video last night on a woman who just finished her she shed, and oh my goodness, wow. I'd leave the link below, but I happened to just come across it, so I have no idea who the woman was. So now we need to cut this down because it's obviously going to be too big for our for how we're going to make this. So what we want to do first is we want to fold it up, and then you can decide which is going to be your front and which is going to be your back. And I'm using the one that I already did this morning because it's dry. And this one is the one we just did. And I actually love this one, but I really like him too. So we'll use this for something else. So let me just make sure I'm even here. And I do have, it looks like I have a little bit of a space. It looks like I may not have cut it completely straight. So let me just get that done before we start cutting our tea stain paper that we are going to make our pockets from. And I got this idea from Rachel from Roxy Creations for the the little folio. And at Christmas time, I made one of these and actually attached a journal to it. So that was really neat. I used newspaper and covered it with Christmas wrapping paper. And I may have said that in my last video. I don't remember. So there you go. So that's going to be, you know, either side will be your folio. So now I want to make sure that I cut this down and it's going to fit properly. And as most of you know, I'm not a big measurer. So just take your pencil. You're going to go on the inside of your mark here. Am I in frame? Yeah. You're going to go inside of your mark here because you want it to come, you know, on the inside of both sides. And then the same thing with your top. You want to cut below that. Cut below that. And I'm just using my trimmer for this. I think it will be okay. So I'm going to go on the inside of this line because I need it to be shorter. And I'm going to come below. In my little snippet box right there. And then I need to come below there by about 1/8 of an inch. In my little strips, just in case I need them. And I go through that, you know, I usually go through it once a day and get rid of anything I don't need, but I don't throw it away until the end of my day in my studio, because you know, you just don't know when you're going to need it. And then I'm going to choose this to be my front, and I don't mind at all that it's sideways. And so that's how your papers should fit, okay? And then all you do is you're going to take your first one, make sure that it's open down here and your seam is here along this seam here. And you want to take your glue. I'll use the art glitter glue for now because we're videoing and it dries quickly and I can get a nice straight line with it. I am actually going to go this way. So I don't go too high here. And then you're just going to press. Am I in frame? I'm so sorry if I'm checking too often. So that's number one. Flip this up, don't touch it. Take your next piece, place it here, out your middle, and again, and you want to make sure your sides are even. And you can ink this, but just make sure you ink it before you put it down. And press. I use a cold brew tea when I tea stain, and I use a baster. So I baste like a turkey baster. I scoop up the tea and I kind of drizzle it all over the paper. I put my next page down, do it again, and that's why you see some of it is still, you know, has some white on it, which I like that. And some of it doesn't. Some of it comes out lighter. And then again, your fold against your fold. sweet comments you have all made, and I will definitely get back to you all. Like I said, I was out yesterday. It was a very long, very hard day, and I came home and I napped, and then I had some yogurt, and I went back to bed and slept until 5 this morning. It was a 2-hour ride too, and then it was a 3-hour exam and diagnostics, and then, yeah, it was a long day. So that's all you want to do. So you can see I did not glue that. I didn't glue that, and I didn't glue that. Now I'm just going to take my pieces on the sides, and I'm going to glue both sides, this side and this side. But I'm not going to attach it to here. Just glue this and this. And I'm going to do this on all 3 pockets. There's 1, 2, together. I've done that before. So kind of just lift that up and run your finger along there so the glue doesn't seep out and get here on this paper, because you don't want to get that stuck. And then you're going to glue these 2 together. Not 2, but this to itself. Same thing on the other side. And then flip it. And I have another great video I hope to put up this afternoon on a small journal using 6x6 paper if you have it. I won't be using 6x6 paper pad, but if you have a 6x6 paper pad, by all means. It's a good way to use your 6x6 paper pad that doesn't have a pattern on the other side. But I'll likely be using something from this kit because working with, and so I'll just be printing on some cardstock, and you can do the same thing. And like I said, I'll likely do it after this video if the video comes out okay, because I'm using my phone and I don't know how well it's going to come out. My subscribers, welcome back. Everyone seems very happy with the way they won. Christina, if you're watching, I will be in touch with you. I've checked my email and I can't find your email. I have a lot that I have to go through. So I know it's in there, but I don't know your email address, so I can't just type it in. So maybe you could send me a message if you're watching. If not, I'll send you a message. But congratulations. And Tanya from Tatty Treasure, Tanya from Tatty Treasures. I got my second postcard done, so I'll be posting that today. And then you just want to lift this up and fold it. Now, you can do a couple of things with this. You can do what I did and put some, packaging down here and put all your words and sentiments and stuff in, and then, open it this way. Or I'm going to show you a different thing that you can do, and that is just take it, and I'm going to do it to this one because I don't need any place else to put my sentiments. So if you do this, then what you're going to have when you're done rubbing on this napkin, and it's not going anywhere, and I have not put anything on it yet. I didn't go over it with any gel medium or anything. That's just me decoupaging it without any gel medium. And I am really being rough with it. And I did it this morning. So you can see it. The tracing paper really works really well. Not tracing paper, I'm sorry. Tissue paper. And it's cheap tissue paper too. It's not really good tissue paper. It's from the Dollar Tree. You get like 50 sheets. And that's all you do. Now, as you can see, I left this one open. And like I said, you could put a journal right in here and stitch it along here so that you have a journal. You have this pocket. You could put a pocket here. You can put pockets in the back. You know, however you want to do it. And then, like I said, you could do any type of closure. You could do a little button closure here to keep it closed, whatever. As you can see, I did not do a fold over for this one because I made it different. But if you're going to do it this way, then you want to do your 8, your 11 going this way, okay? And your 8.5 going that way. But I don't need to do this because, I'll show you, I don't need a closure, and I'm going to be opening it this way. So, did that make sense? So now I'll probably put a closure on that. And I don't know what side I'll use yet, because I like them both. Rachel, you've really given me a hard time, because I love every single one of these pages, and I can see here that I am just a little bit off. So all you have to do, if that happens, is trim it. I might have not have folded it properly. My eyes are not very good. I had a lot of tests yesterday and a lot of dilating, and yeah, that's why I'm not outside gardening, because I did it this morning before it got sunny, and then I had to come in because it was really bothering me even with sunglasses. So there you go for this one. Now, we could do the same type of closure for this one, which is likely what I will do. If this one fits, I can show you it won't. So, just to show you how I did that, and I think I already did, but I'll show you again by grabbing one of my scraps. And all you have to do is take your scrap, or, you know, whatever you want to use, and you could decoupage this as well. Leave enough room because, like I said, it will get full unless you've already filled it up and you know how much room you're going to need. And all you have to do now, make sure it's straight, is take your glue and put it along here. This is such a simple closure and such a great one for anything, any kind of journal or anything that, you know, that you're making. And now I have another folio where I can continue to keep my fussy cuts in, the rest of them, which are many. Or it's something that you could send as a gift to someone. Wouldn't that be fabulous? To have some nice tags, maybe some journaling cards, you know, maybe a little notebook you could put in there. There's just so many things you could do with this, and I've done many things with things like this. So anyway, that is today's project. Oh, and if you wanted to keep these closed so nothing falls out, I have a simple solution for that. Let me just grab my paper clips and find some small ones. All you have to do is put a paper clip there. Don't want things to fall out. Paper clip there and a paper clip here. And if you want to make it fancy like I do always, you could add some ribbons to the very tops of your paper clips and let them kind of hang out, and it looks so sweet. And you could do maybe one on this side and possibly, oops, I don't want to tear that. You could do one on this side, one on this side, and one on this side, and let the ribbons, you know, flow out, and that would look really pretty, and your things won't fall out when you open it. It's a good thing to travel with too. You know, just take your things in when you're traveling. So here is the finished one. The one I made to look like it came out of my grandmother's garden shed, or Edith Holden's. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I wonder if she had a garden shed. I don't remember. I don't think she did. I do know that Beatrix Potter did. Anyway, so here is the one that I made the other day that I had already made with white paper, copy paper, and then did all that inking and painting and, you know, to make it look like it came out of my garden shed. And then this one we made today, which is very small and simple, 8.5 by 11. And like I said, I went the 8.5 this way, which I shouldn't have. I should, you know, it depends. Like if you want this to fold over, then you want your 11 this way. And then here is the piece we made today. And I'm just going to cut off these bits to show you how wonderful this looks without having any problems with it. No wrinkles, nothing. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. It could be a great cover too. You know, depending on how you put it on, it would be a fabulous cover for a journal. Okay, so that's it. That's how you make your own napkin to decoupage with simple, very lightweight tissue paper in a very inexpensive printer. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being patient and loving and caring and all of those good things. And I'll show you again my sweet little postcards. I have 2 more. I have to make 1 more for the end of the month, and then I'll be done. And these will go into my botanical journal. So anyway, that was my day. I hope yours was just as wonderful. Be well, be safe, and God bless. Bye-bye.